We're chillin'! We're chillin' with Rick. He's gonna get to the story quick. Yeah, we're chillin'. Yes, we're chillin' with Rick. Chillin' with Rick, everybody. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the sponsors. Upscale Exotics, reptile-only specialty store that carries exotic reptiles looking for homes. They have snakes, lizards, geckos, turtles, chameleons, tarantulas, and more. It's a store of the creepy critters. With all the supplies, enclosures, and food, it's your one-stop shop, and they have knowledgeable staff located at 145 West Seneca Street in Sherrill, 315-367-5002. Games People Play, formerly Mind Games. It's a game store with so much more. They've been in business for 28 years. They have Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, or Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and also sports cards. They also have retro video games and board games. Weekly events held in-store and a knowledgeable staff located at 114 Madison Street in Oneida, 315-363-2448. Whitestown Automotive, quality repairs at a good price just up the Thruway Bridge in Westmoreland. Boogie Dad's Music, working on producing and distributing music on all platforms and great royalty kickbacks for all performers. Oneida Carpets. Oneida Carpets, family owned and operated by Scott and Lynn White. They're both installers. They install carpet, laminate, vinyl, luxury vinyl, plank flooring, and ceramic tile. All of your flooring needs in one store. They're located at 174 Madison Street in Oneida, 315-361-9800. Big Girl Stump Removal. Do you have a stump that needs to be removed? I'm talking about a tree stump. Then call up Big Earl. He's a great guy with very fair prices, and he'll grind the stump right down to the roots. Give him a call at 315-363-5217. Papa Top. That place out there is just like Florida. It's a tropical paradise out there on that big old deck. They have obviously the outdoor deck, Adirondack chairs, picnic tables, bar stools. Grab some friends and go listen to some live music at Papa Top. Frog's Bar. Outdoor bar, picnic tables, Adirondack chairs, 2 fire pits for when fall comes. The owner, Mary, is phenomenal. She's a friend of mine. She wears the chillin' zip up proudly. And there's live music there all summer. Oneida Calet Civic Center. Upcoming events include NU Wrestling on May 27th. I'll be at that. Absolute Adele, an Adele tribute show, coming October 22nd at 3 p.m. Get your tickets for that, oneidacalet.com. Also coming on Saturday, February 24th, 2024, is Appetite for Voltage, a Guns N' Roses AC/DC tribute band. Get your tickets at oneidacalet.com. All right, on to my next guest. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chillin' with Rick. Z, the mics are on. I love you. Today I have with me a local legend, and the church bells are playing for this guy already. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Orlowski. How are you, brother?
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you, man.
I love the bell entrance.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Jose does this.
It's great. I love it. Reminds me back in my youth. I used to have
Yes.
a church near my house, and
Yes.
I used to always love it. It was relaxing.
Yeah. So Scott DeCan hooked this up. I love Scotty like he's my own brother. He's one of my best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Just talked to him for an hour before this. He couldn't brag you up enough, man.
Oh, Scotty's good shit. I mean, I met him, which I'm surprised I haven't met him sooner, but I'm a photographer as well.
Yes.
I've been doing that probably not as long as music, but equally as busy. But I did his family's Christmas pictures a couple years ago, and
Yep.
so I met him that way.
Yeah.
And then we of course were talking music on the shoot, and then later on that year I ended up doing his band photos for for As If, and it's just been, that's sometimes it's you know, how you meet people.
Yes,
you know?
I heard you were laying on the ground and everything for him. He was telling me.
Yeah, well, you know,
To get the shot, you got to
really
do it.
do. Yeah, perspective. It's very important. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just do things dead on. You know.
Yeah. All right, so like every episode, I like to start from the very beginning.
Hey, okay,
I
you
know
got
you're
time?
I know you're 25. It can't be that long. Where were you born and raised?
Utica, New York.
Utica.
Way back in the day, back in the 70s.
Oh
Yeah,
man, me too, man. 76.
70.
We're almost there.
Yeah, yeah, born and raised in Utica, West Utica, and pretty much lived there my whole life until about maybe 6 years ago. I'm in New Hartford now.
New Hartford. Good place, man. Big Apple Music. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah, Mark.
Mark
our
Bolo
condolences
Sr.
to the
is doing
family.
my show next month.
Oh, Mark's great. He's
Yeah.
done so much for me over the years. You know, he's so supportive of the artists and local musicians.
Yeah,
You know, he really, you know, goes out of his way to help people.
he does. I've heard that a lot about him. I've never met him in person. I've never met a lot of you guys in person, such as yourself. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming out here.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad that I got invited. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, any opportunity to talk music, you know, I mean, I love to do it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I love legends when they come to my show.
Hey, yeah, you know, I mean, old age, you know, doing it for a long time, you know, I mean, I'm really proud and happy for the accomplishments that I've done, you know,
Yes.
and, you know, I'm just actually getting things started again, you know, to maybe at least get back out there and play a little bit more, you know.
Please do. We encourage you.
Yeah, yeah, you know, I mean, we're just working on it. In fact, we could have been a lot sooner along, but unfortunately, you know our bass player, Rich Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, he just had emergency hernia surgery, so he's been out laid up for a month.
Shit, I didn't know that.
He finally can rehearse this week, and his doctor said, you know, he can sit.
Yeah.
You know, so, but you know,
I just
mean,
want to sit.
it's just amazing, you know, how later in life, you know, that's the kind of things that hold you back. You know?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, a hernia. Come on.
I know.
Oh,
yeah.
God damn it, D-Roz, what the hell?
He's a great guy, and he's another one. Never even knew him my whole entire life. We've been friends on Facebook and stuff, but never met him.
Yeah.
And the opportunity arose. He was looking for a gig, and I needed a bass player, and it worked out with the first rehearsal.
He's
He
been
was
wanting
great.
to get back into something. I'm
Yeah,
glad that you picked him up.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I believe he was doing some country before he joined us, but we're gonna do a little bit more heavier
Yes.
B-side 90s music. You know, we're really trying to make it our own. You know, as far as, you know, not really doing a lot of music that people are doing at the moment. You know, I mean, it's just really easy to do because there's so much great music out there. You know, you don't have to do the really extreme popular music. You know, you can do other music, and as long as you do it well,
Yeah.
you know, people will love it.
Make sure you rehearse.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean,
Even legends have to rehearse.
yeah. It was tough blowing the dust off, you know, but you know, it's like riding a bike.
Yes, it is. I don't know, but I took 7 months off from this because I wasn't doing it year round. This year I'm gonna to stay in practice, and obviously people forgot who I was, and I'm just, you know, trying to do Z show, and I'm trying to chime in on the good, the band, and the ugly. They invited me on, so you know, I'm just trying to. Now this year we're going year round. I can't go 7 months without anything.
Yeah. Well,
I'm an attention whore, first off.
and I'll tell you, you know, I mean, that's how you get the
Yeah.
consistency and the viewers
Yeah.
is always doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that goes with music too. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't play one show and then don't play again for 6 months because
Yeah.
you're never going to get a following that
Yep,
way.
yep. So this year round. I'm going to do a handful in the winter. You guys don't like to come out in the wintertime. I don't know if you know that or not, but some do.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of winter. I love it for Christmas time, but, you know, I'm not really a fan of winter. But, you know, especially being a drummer, you know, I mean, it's been many times,
Yeah.
you know, opening the back of the vehicle to put drums in and getting covered in snow
Yeah.
and everything, you know, it sucks.
A lot of guys slow down in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a miracle I can get anybody here in the summertime because you're always gigging.
Yeah, well,
So-
you know, like I said, you know, photography has taken over my life in the last few years. You know, I mean, I've been doing it for 33 years, but you know, as far as full time, and the only thing that I do is photography right now. But you know, I mean, music is my blood. You know, I played rock and roll all night in front of my first grade class back in Catholic school. You know, I mean, so I mean, I just really always wanted to play music.
Yeah.
You know. It's just I'm self-taught, you know, and I've been able to do a lot of great opportunities. I toured all over the country, you know, and you know, I mean, any opportunity I can to play. I love when people call me up. Like I'm watching a band and they have me come up and play. So I love it. You know.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have to tear down drums at the end of the night. You know?
I'm just here.
That's it. Thank you.
You
Thank
remember
you.
them days, though, don't you?
Oh
Vividly.
yes, yes.
What age did you start playing drums? Very young?
I'd have to say maybe 16. And you know, it's kind of funny because I didn't come from money, you know, and I lived in an apartment with my family, and so I couldn't have drums there, and I couldn't afford drums, and it's one of those instruments, you know. I mean, it's just, you know, they can offend a lot of your neighbors, but you know. So I ended up some friends of mine. We were young, and we were just like, you know, let's start a band, you know. But none of us had instruments, and we all like kind of just got instruments and started playing in their basement, and that's just how it worked for me at that time, you know. And from then on, I just kept practicing and practicing and practicing, and then it wasn't until like maybe high school when I started actually meeting other musicians. And the one thing about music and bands is, especially when you're learning, is if you're lucky enough to be around really good, talented players that may be a little bit stronger at their instrument than you kind of learn from that, and it makes you a better player.
Yes.
And you build from that, and that's
you
what I
have
did.
Good people around you, great musicians. That makes you want to be better.
Yeah, and that's what happened in high school, you know, and it was great. You know, I got a lot of exposure, you know, with playing songs and writing music and stuff, and you know, and then it wasn't probably until after high school when I really had my first opportunity to actually perform live and make money.
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, it was probably maybe 19 maybe or something like that, you know. But I got an audition for a really popular band that was in the area out in Rome, band called SIV, and they were a big band at the time, and a huge following, and I did the audition. It was funny because there was a local music store in where we live in Utica. It was called Nicotera's.
Yeah.
And on the back of her door, if you were leaving, and there would always be all kinds of want ads on there. And SIV in the way they would do things, because they were always funny about it.
Yep.
It was just like someone like a kindergartner did it. It was just the word SIV, and then it says Seeks drummer. And that was it. And it had these little rip tags, because back in the day we didn't have smartphones or any kind of way to advertise. So that's the way they did it.
Facebook free advertising.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so I grabbed the little rip tag and I called the number, and you know, it was music that I had never played before. You know, I was more into progressive hard metal, you know, at the time, and they were more funk,
Yep.
Chili Peppers,
Yes.
you know, before anybody really knew who the Chili Peppers were.
Yep.
And they had some originals, so they gave me a tape and a couple Chili Pepper songs to learn, and I went up to the rehearsal and I bombed out the songs that that they wanted, and they were like the old usual, you know, well, we'll be in touch, you know. So I'm like, I didn't think I got it, and then that night I get a call, hey, can you come back again?
Yeah.
You know, and so I figured, all right, well, it's another opportunity for me to come back, and I got the job.
Awesome.
Yeah, but then, you know, from then on, it was just, again, you use these life experiences to build you and who you are, because, you know, even though it was a great thing to be part of, it may not have been really where all my heart and soul was, you know. So then from then on, it took off into more 90s alternative music, and then it just kept branching and branching and branching.
Yeah.
Let me turn it off. Oh, man, okay.
I'm always after Moyer. Turn your damn phone off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, see how old I am? The old cassette?
I love it. That's cool. I used to have the Thriller. Everybody knows I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I get booed for it.
It's all right, man. He's one of the best artists ever.
Yes,
you know, I mean,
agreed.
you know, that This Is It movie was just unbelievable.
Oh,
So
my
sad
God.
that he passed, but
I actually find that heartbreaking to watch. He couldn't remember the lyrics to anything, and it's like, Jesus Christ. He was anemic. He's wearing all these layers of clothes, but that's for another episode. I could
Just
talk Michael
unbelievable
Jackson.
talent, though.
Yeah, unbelievable talent. And so how did now Tim Moyer gets a lot of shit, but mainly from me and Z. But that's only because we love and respect him so much. And Tim knows I love him. We have conversations all the time. He knows you were coming, and he's excited to see this.
oh yeah, we go way back.
So how did Gridley Page come about?
Well, I mean, I've known Tim for a very long time, not really personally at that time, you know,
Yeah.
but I knew him, And it's a small town we live in and stuff, and they were a very popular band for a long time, I mean, and so all the bands were pretty much, back then there was a lot more places to play, so we always traded off clubs, and
Yeah.
they may be playing Friday, we'd be playing Saturday, but way back then, they were Ulterior Motive at the time,
Yes, yes.
I mean, and so I mean maybe when they were Culprit, I mean I probably didn't know them as much,
Yep.
but definitely Ulterior Motive. But then there was some controversy; they had changed their name, they became Gridley Page.
Yeah.
But so there was a couple times in the early parts of Gridley Page where they ran into a situation where they lost their drummer or whatever, and I'd be like, hey Tim, I'm available, and he's like, oh thanks man, I appreciate it. He goes, but we're all set, we do got somebody, and so it was like maybe a couple drummers, down the road, that and then just one day I remember I used to work at FYE, and I was I was in the store. I get a phone call at my store, and it was Jeff Moyer, and he's like, Pat, he goes, what you doing? And I'm like, working, and he's like, he goes, are you playing with anybody? I go, not at the moment. He goes, would you like to try out for the band? And I'm like, sure. So I got, that we pretty much, I think at that time, maybe, I don't know, they may have gave me a list or whatever, but, I knew a lot of the music anyways,
Yeah.
but, and, so I went there up to Madison. That's where they used to rehearse,
Yes.
and we, and at that time, Walt Butler, which I love to death. Hi, Walt. He's in Florida now.
Hi, Walt. I don't know you.
Yeah, Walt Butler, great bass player, great person too.
Yeah.
And anyways, he was there as well as we're both like kind of auditioning for the rhythm section of the band.
Yep.
And so we did the audition, and at that time, Tim's father Brent, who was pretty much organized and managed the band, God rest his soul.
Yes.
But he was the one who would make the final decision, and he told Tim, he said, hire him. So I got the job, and it's Tim's gig, so it was pretty much me just doing my part to make sure that band sounded great, and we were busy. I mean, that's a busy band, and they
Yeah.
worked a lot. I mean, they probably don't work as much now because we all getting old. Tim's at the point where he could probably play just wherever the choice gigs, and that's it. But we played everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we just everywheres. And they always were playing. They were always very busy. There was a time.
He still is.
Yeah, well, there was a time back in the day where they would play 2 nights a week in the same club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, so they, back in the day, there was a lot more opportunities to play as a band,
Yeah.
and but so we were really busy, and we played for a long time, and then later in the down the road, as far as the Gridley Page years for me went, I had an opportunity to play with Fran Cosmo from Boston. So
Oh, wow.
and again, it was an audition. I did the audition. They said I got the job, but my next gig was going to be in a month in California, so I told Tim, I said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to take this gig, and I'm not going to be able to do any more gigs with you guys, and they're really busy, so Tim was of course upset,
Yeah.
and I understand, but it was just one of those once in a lifetime opportunities, I mean, I'm going to be flying on an airplane to go play a gig, so, and I did that for a while, and then but it was tough because I have a son, and he was young at the time, and I was traveling so much all over. I mean, I played in Key West, Vegas, I mean, I was just really traveling a lot, and it was tough I had to be, around my son, so I had to leave that project after, really taking it in for a couple years, and I remember calling up Tim, I'm like, Tim, I'm back in town, and I'm looking for a gig. He goes, can you play this weekend? And sure enough, we ended up opening. We were opening for Leonard Skinner at
Oh, my God.
at Deansboro at the MJK Farms, which was a great job. We just went there. We didn't have to rehearse or nothing, because I already knew the music. We just went in there, did a set, and it was awesome. And so it was a lot of like pretty much it's treating Gridley as a working gig.
Yeah.
So after that. I did whatever gigs he needed, and then so as Tim is also his other job is booking colleges.
Yeah.
So he's always goes away to conventions in the fall, and there was this one time in the fall when he went away, and I wanted to work, so I called up my good friend Gary Johnson at the time, and I said, "Hey Gary, you feel like putting something together?" And I go, "Tim's gone for for about a month." I go, I want to throw something together and get some gigs." He's like, "Well, what's Jeff doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'll give him a call." So I called up Jeff, and Jeff was down, and we got together for a rehearsal at Jeff's house, and we played 40 songs in one rehearsal.
Wow.
I mean, but that's just when I talk about in high school, meeting those people that really fueled you and made you better a musician. Playing with Jeff and Gary. I mean, those guys together they're just so great at at their craft.
Yes.
So to be part of that, we started off as we were able to go out and play as a three-piece, and I've never done that before.
Yeah.
And so we started doing that, and again,
Dashboard Nixon.
Dashboard Nixon, yeah. Yes, that became Dashboard Nixon. Again, that name, I mean, the success of that band came so fast. We didn't have a name. We didn't have
How did the name come about? I'm always fascinated with this.
It was just, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was just Jeff, I don't know, just blurted it out, and it was really, it has no meaning at all. But again, like I said, the band was moving so fast ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, after, I believe it was 2009 when the band started, well, that New Year's, and by that summer, we were already headlining Saranac Thursdays, the big stage.
Wow.
And I mean, and that's a short period of time.
People.
Yeah, and
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for the band itself to play in front of a lot of people, and that's, I think, what really kick-started the band. So now I'm playing with Gridley and Dashboard Nixon.
Oh wow.
And in fact, we're playing Saranac Thursday both. I'm playing with Gridley one show, and then I'm playing a different time with Dashboard Nixon. And so it got to the point where I really enjoyed what Dashboard Nixon was doing, I mean, as far as just the fun and the creativity. I mean, because that band got to the point of where we were taking requests.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even go out with a set list. We would just say, people would yell out a song and we would play it.
Yeah.
And it got scary sometimes, for myself anyways, because, I mean, I can fake only so much, I mean, and those guys are so talented, they know all that stuff, and there would be times, sometimes Gary would turn to me and he would mimic the drum part and how it would go, and then all of a sudden, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And we'd play the song, I mean, so it was really neat, and so I ended up leaving Gridley after a while to do Dashboard full time, and we had a lot of fun, and we did that for a long time, and then.
So you broke Tim's heart twice.
You ready for 3?
Oh no.
Yeah, so then Dashboard Nixon ended up ending, Gary, I think Gary really wanted to get back to his solo stuff, and really focus on that. And so I ended up coming back to Gridley, and again, it was always just a great business opportunity, because Gridley's a very professional working act, I mean, very pro. And so I got back into Gridley again, and then we did I think we did like a Dashboard only gig at a Saranac Thursday, and we had all these different guest singers come on, and one of the guest singers was Mike Sales.
He's coming soon.
Okay, so so I mean, I knew him from Simple Props, but so it was one of those things where they ran into a situation where they needed a drummer, and so I was just into something different, building something different, because it was literally from scratch, Simple Props. Even though they were a band, but they did it for fun.
Yeah.
They didn't really do a lot of huge gigs or whatever. So pretty much my first 3 years in that band, we played Saranac Thursday, the big stage, all 3 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, and of course the gig at Turning Stone. I mean, I because of Gridley and because of Dashboard Nixon, I was already affiliated with them. So now Simple Props is playing there once a month. So it was an opportunity to use some of my connections and build that band, and we did a lot of great things, and had a lot of fun. But that was the last time I was with Gridley, and then actually Sean took over for me at that time, and Sean has been pretty much with him still to this day, I think.
Yeah. I think you're right.
But so yeah, so that was my Gridley 15 years, but we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of great gigs, like I said, I just love being part of just great players and people that are really professional, and it's kind of made me a little crazy when I'm in that practice room, so, like even with this new project, I'm just really focused on just doing one kind of direction.
Yeah.
I don't want to branch off, and because like the singer, we don't have a for sure name yet.
Okay.
They're kind of up in the air, so I'll make sure you'll know about it when we do have that name,
Please
because
do.
obviously I'll be advertising. But
Yes.
we're gonna
Use my page.
I will.
Please.
But Brian Morrissey is the singer. He sang with me in Toast for a few years. He was the last singer of Toast. Great guy from Whitesboro. He's been out of it for a long time. He was raising a family. He's got 2 beautiful daughters. Just went to one of the daughters' graduation parties last weekend. But and of course, like I just said, Rich Smith on bass, and Eli Rivera is on guitar. I played with him way back in the day in a band called Sugar Daddy. And we used to do a lot of like hip hop, rap, kind of like Korn and Deftones and stuff like that, which will be affiliated in this kind of band as well, which works out good for him. But yeah. So what I want to do right now is kind of like just my friends. I have a lot of friends in bands, so I want to open for people.
Yeah.
I just want to, like Seattle Suns, really good friends of mine. Jake, the guitar player,
Shane and Scott are coming mid-August together.
Well, of course I know Scott, but Shane I met through the band. Kevin, of course, too, great drummer. But Jake, we go way back. Rattlebasket. Played many years with Rattlebasket.
I love these names.
Yeah, well, that band, got me on Woodstock '99 West Stage.
Nice.
So me and Jake have done a lot of great things too. We've played all over. Played a lot of the Vernon Downs Fireworks over Central New York. So we got to do a lot of big gigs. But because we were doing mostly originals. I'm jumping all over the place, obviously.
Okay, man. There's no rules on chilling.
But the main point is I want to just open for some bands and just have fun, and play with bands, like Career Mode, another good friends of mine, bands that are kind of like edgy, that we can play well together, and people love that too, when you got a couple different bands, instead of having one band the whole night, have a couple different bands, you bring your crowd, they have their crowd, and it's just, I don't know. That's what they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Now a lot of it's a business.
I heard it was pretty cutthroat back in the day.
It kind of was. I guess.
Don't play on my turf.
Well, sometimes the bar owners were like that. Especially if you were a popular band. Like, I know especially like when the Turning Stone was getting busy with the gig. A lot of times they wouldn't want you to play at Joel's Steakhouse.
Oh, okay.
So that was sometimes the bars being cutthroat. But as far as way back in the 80s and 90s, would probably be 90s for myself, anyways. But you just had, it was really, really difficult to get a name for yourself. Because there was a big scene, and there was a lot of places to play, and a lot of times, then the bars were taking cover, doing cover charges, and so it was really difficult to make money, sometimes, and we all were booking sound companies that cost a lot of money, so we had to always have that first to be paid, and so we had a lot of expenses, so, we didn't have social media, so we had to, go around and make flyers and go around with sticky spray and put them on electrical boxes and poles and go up to colleges.
Don't nail in the Z's tree.
I know, man. We used to go down Varick Street and put them in the trees down there. Oh, man.
Z will rip your ass apart.
Yeah, a lot of tree huggers. A lot of tree huggers didn't like that.
Z was one of them. And he still tells that story.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to kill Moyer.
Yeah, well, and I can remember going to colleges with Tim and doing flyers for Gridley. But that's how you did it back then. You had to somehow let people know, that you were playing that weekend.
Yeah.
And the radio stations were great too. The radio stations, which is, they don't do it anymore really. They don't invest in maybe the clubs don't invest in radio, but they would, advertise what was going on that weekend. You'd be driving in your car, and I'd be purposely listening for my advertisement. Toast this weekend at Shakers. It was, or it was great to hear. And that's how people, knew that you were coming. And it just created a cool vibe, in the town. So as far as cutthroat, it is what it is. If people liked you, they were gonna come. And if you were playing on the same night somewhere else as somebody else, you just. That's what was nice about with that Route 5, all the bars on Route 5, a lot of people would bounce from bar to bar. Yeah. You had the Blue Mule, Looney Tunes, Garden Cafe, and Not the Fancy, all on the same strip, so you could bounce around and see a couple different bands, and you hopefully kept them at your club, and that's what the bars wanted to see.
Yeah. I was just Genesee Joe.
I love Genesee Joe.
He was just here a few weeks ago. I love that. He's my favorite guest of all time.
Joe is the best. Guy of
we
knowledge.
could sit here and just talk about nothing and make it a hit.
I love
hired
it.
him to do my promo before this got started because I went big this year. Hey, Joe, it got me like one person. It didn't work, but hey, you know, I paid him the money. He did it. Check, and he was great at it. And I got a Gary Johnson story for you. He was just here a few weeks ago. I got everybody this year. And he goes, Rick, I love you so much. I said, and? None of my looping stuff is here. I got just a guitar. And he held that fucking guitar like it was Linus's blanket. I go, you want to set that down? He goes, no, I just want to hold it. So he was going through something that day. He was just nervous. I don't know what it is.
Hey, even you made Gary Johnson nervous?
Yeah, I guess. He goes, this is how much I love you. None of my equipment's here. I'm just playing guitar for you. I said, I can't love you anymore than I already do, Gary. So that, you know, Gary does that for me. A lot of you musicians, you know, once they get to know me, they'll bend over backward for me. And I'm just a guy with a show. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I can't serenade you with any drums, but, you know.
Yeah, it's all good, man. You just do this.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, yeah, Joe's great. I mean,
Yeah.
we go way back. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's going to bring up Rattlebasket again
Yep.
because a member in the band was the Duke, Dan Austin, and, you know, they all worked at OUR together, and
Yes.
this was above the Mayrow building back in the day, and so we would always do radio interviews
Yes.
on OUR,
Yep.
and it would always be on Joe's show, you know, and that's how I met Joe. And Joe, the same witty, funny,
He's great.
intelligent person that he
Yeah.
is now, is the same person he was back then, and he was just so great with talking and interviewing, and but yeah, so we, you know, every once in a while I'll see him at Price Chopper in South Utica, and we chat for a while, you know, but because he lives in South Utica up there,
Yeah.
but yeah, but you know, there's just another great person, Bob Aquaviva, a person that's just got a lot of history, you know, a lot of stuff that he's been on Z Show a couple times, and he could be on Z Show for 5 times because he's just got so much to
Yeah.
talk about history,
Yeah.
and people like to hear that. That's like yourself, you're a
Yes.
fan of music, fan
Yes.
of live music,
Yes.
People
I'm
like to hear.
fascinated with behind the scenes stuff.
Yes, people like to hear how it happened. How did
you
it,
were born to where you are now. We're not going to go to Tomb because you're not there yet, and I don't want you to be there.
yeah,
But
I mean,
I'm just fascinated with how you got to be so successful and what you do. Like what,
yeah,
every step, I want to know.
passion.
It all.
It starts with passion.
Yes,
You know, you
you
got to
gotta have
just
passion.
really, really, really love it.
Yep.
And if you love it, you'll just get better at it. You know, and then surround yourself with strong people that are just as passionate as you. You know, and you'll feed off of them, and together you'll grow, and then you'll learn. You'll take something from them.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I've played in my first band. That band I was telling you about was called Rabbit Squirrel. It was just like a punk band. We wrote our own originals. I believe I still have the cassette. You know, but you know, I mean, it's just so hard to believe, kind of. But in my mind, I always knew it would happen. But to be able to get that opportunity with Fran and to play all over the country like that, you know, I mean, it was all the hard work that I did beforehand, you know, so everything that I did before, all the 3-4 nights a week in clubs and just sweating my ass off and
Paying your dues, you're setting up, you're tearing down.
Yeah, and
You're
then to
going
play
wherever.
and do
Yeah.
that job in front of Fran was enough for him to trust me to go out, because, you know, think about it, it's his name, you know, and now I'm backing up his name, you know, and everyone that's there, I mean, I don't know how many times at the end of a show people are giving me their Boston albums and they want me to sign it, and I'm like, I'm not on that album, you know, and Fran told me, it's like, Pat, they want you to sign it, you know. I can remember one time we did a show in Florida, Daytona Bike Week.
I love stories on chilling.
Yeah, so it was I remember we got the show last minute. I got called on a Wednesday, and that's how it was with them a lot of times. They go, we got to play in Daytona on Friday. So and it was right in front of the band shell, right on the ocean, and so hot, you know, it's Daytona.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you think if it's hot here, it's hot there, and no cover on the stage, you know, so I'm right in direct sunlight. So we do our show, and I think because it was just so hot and humid, my hands were starting to blister up, and I was breaking blisters and stuff, and so now my hands are a bloody mess. And so we leave, we're done, we leave the stage, and we're backstage, and my sticks and my hands are all bloody, and Anthony's like, he goes, you got to throw your sticks out there, man. I'm like, I got so much DNA on these things, man. They ain't gonna want them. He goes, hell no. He goes, you got to go out there. You know, so we went back out there, and the crowd just started screaming, and I'm throwing these bloody sticks out to the freaking audience. But, you know, I wonder if anybody's got those still.
They got them.
Yeah, you know, I mean, but.
Did you sign them?
No. I mean, it was, again, when you're in that band, it's different, you know. I mean, you're away from everybody, you know. But, you know, normally that doesn't happen. When you're a drummer, when you're a guitar player, you build up calluses, and you don't usually have that problem, you know. But I don't know if it was the heat or what, but I was bleeding everywhere. It was a bloody mess. I already know not to wear white ever again, you know, because I do cut myself when I'm playing.
Oh, wow.
You know, and with drums, once you cut yourself, if you don't realize you cut yourself, and you playing a song, you're whipping that blood all over the place, you know. I mean, so I had a guy, I was at the Seattle Sun show in Rome just recently. That's which is a pretty cool event. I hope they do that more often. But there was a guy there. He goes, you may not remember me. He goes, but you used my drums one time at a show. We opened, or I think you opened for us, and he goes, I remember you must have cut yourself. He goes, you had blood all over my snare drum, all over my tom. He goes, I didn't care though. It was really cool. You know, I'm like, oh, and I was apologizing. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry. You know, but yeah, I always, from, you know, then on, you know, again, life's experiences, you bring Band-Aids, you know.
Do you cut yourself a lot? Is it a regular thing?
Sometimes, you know, I'm for drums, I'm self-taught, so there's really no rhyme or
be
reason.
Nailing on them sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's more. You know, when they came up with Animal from the Muppets, I'm not saying that that's me, but the way, the aggression that, you know, that I play behind there, you know, I hit things. You know, the drums are all metal, you know, and I'm just a maniac back there, you know, and it's just something. I have hit myself in the face, you know. I mean, it's just,
wow.
You know, you're coming around and whoops.
Don't hurt the logo.
But you know, it's just I wouldn't say it's necessarily showing up, but you like to be theatrical back there. You know, I'm stuck behind the drums. You know, everyone else is out there. You know, they can interact with the people. So I like to bring a little show behind the drums. You know,
Monster Mike, you know him?
Monster. Oh,
Merrifield.
From yes.
OHK Rev.
Yeah.
He's. I think I love you, Monster. You know that he helps run my page, and. He's easier on the drums now. You know, he's not slamming.
He just had a bad leg accident, right?
What's that?
Didn't he have a bad leg injury?
He had 2 quads blow at his daughter's wedding, going down slippery stairs.
Oh my God.
So he's all repaired now, and he's fixed up, and he's good to go, and he's playing again. But
that's great that he's playing again.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It really is. To set up and tear down kills him. So anyway, he's more easier on the drums now as he progressed in life. I'm not going to say he's old because he's not. But, you know, some guys like you just bam, bam. Just how it is.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, it's just, again, when I play from here, you know, I'm not playing, you know, anywhere else but from in here. So whatever, especially if there's a great audience and they're loving what you're doing, just that animal comes out even more, you know.
If you're passionate about it,
yeah.
that's gonna happen.
Way back in the day, I mean, and people knew of me as the drummer that set up Sideways, you know, because from like Rattlebasket on, I would set my drums up. Well, Toast too. I think I did it in Toast, but I would set the drums up sideways because I wanted the people to see what I'm doing. Yeah. You know, I mean, so Striper did it back in the day, so it's not something that I did myself, you know, but it was a great idea. You see what the drummer's doing, you know, and people would come up to me and you know, after shows, and they'd be like, great show, you know, but yeah, I was just wondering, why do you set up sideways? And then when I tell them, I'm like, well, now you can see what I'm doing back there, you know, what the drummer's doing, you know. I mean, you can't always have a video camera behind you like the big bands do, you know. You know, true. So I would, and then when I told them, you know, they were like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know. But it is a little weird because when...
That's cool when you get video of it, I'm sure.
yeah, and it means it's good for the band members because they can get back and jam with you because, you know, they come behind the drums now and they can. Yeah. You know, but it is a little weird depending on the club, you know, how you can set your drums up because when you're setting your kit up, you know, you always start with the bass drum and you build from there. Well, when you're sideways, now your bass drum's this way and it's like, it's just, sometimes it's weird, but Yeah, I don't know. I did it for a while, and then I just stopped doing it. I don't know why. I just stopped doing it. You know.
I get it. What's your like? What did you listen to growing up? Like, who were your musical influences?
Well, you know, it was way back.
Yeah.
Kiss. Like I said, I played in front of my whole school in my first grade class playing rock and roll all night. They had brought the Kiss album out, put it on the school record player, and they dragged my Mickey Mouse drum set out to the freaking middle of the gym. And there's people that to this day that actually remember that, you know. And of course, I'm sure I didn't play it. You know, I was just a maniac back there, and it was Kiss playing. But it started with Kiss, and again, because I always wanted the big show, you know, and they were the best ones to put on the big show, you know. And so from then I got into heavy metal. You know, I was passionate into heavy metal in high school. You know, Slayer and all that really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, saw all the bands live and played in metal bands, and then like I said, in high school I met a lot of musicians, and then I met these guys that were really into like progressive music. You know, really talented originals that they wrote, kind of along the lines of like Iron Maiden and Dream Theater and stuff like that, you know. So I really got a lesson in, like, instead of just killing people musically, to start using the brain a little bit more and breaking things down into, you know, time signatures and stuff like that, you know. And met one of the best drummers ever that practiced below me in a band called Visigoth, Tim Gillis, God rest his soul. And he was another one that just really believed in me and loved the way I played. And he had this amazing, beautiful drum set, and I had this garbage two-colored piece of crap because growing up, man, we had nothing, man. Skid Row, everything's held together with duct tape.
Yes.
I'm lucky if I had 2 decent sticks to play with, you know.
I'm gonna give you a big hug after this, man. We both made it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and I think I guess the moral of the story is, you know, I mean, if you really love something and you're passionate about it, you will succeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool logo, man. You remember that from back in the day, don't you? That's
Oh,
volume.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, man, you got more people need to have an EQ, man, because those are great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got them on my stereo, my home stereo. I got an old school stereo. I just love listening to music loud and it sounds great.
Yeah.
You know.
I love local music, and I'm trying to give you guys a platform to come on here and do what you're doing.
Yeah, you know, and I appreciate you giving me a call, you know, because you know
How did you come across my show? I don't mean to interrupt you.
Well, because just like you, I know all the fellow musicians,
so you've seen.
yeah, oh yeah, oh definitely, you know, and you know, I mean, I appreciate you having me on because I haven't really been in the music scene for a little over 5 years, you know. I walked away from it once I left Simple Props, you know, and I just needed a break mentally, stress wise, you know, and you know, last year I did 3 fill-in jobs with Last Left. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yes.
I mean, obviously great band, another great band.
I got to get a hold of them.
Yeah, oh yeah, very talented, great band.
Painted Black, I just got a hold of them last night.
Yeah, know them guys very well.
Like,
of course, the drummer, a great friend of mine, did his wedding. You know.
They're like, whenever you want, let us know. That's cool. I mean, I had to earn my stripes doing this.
You know, but that's what it is. You get enough, you know, shows under your belt, then people are like, you know, they'll start to, who's on this week?
Yep.
Who's on this week? Yep. You know, and they start tuning in, you know, because it's interesting. Everybody's got their own story.
I love it.
You know, I mean, and so
you get my show. I love it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and that's any opportunity for me to talk music and to talk how, you know, that things have changed or how they're better.
Yep.
You know, I mean, people want to hear that, you know, and maybe people will learn from it, you know, like a lot of these club owners, like, we need more clubs, you know, and we need more clubs, like, focusing on the music scene, you know, and building that, you know, and supporting the bands like that 233 and the place across. I mean, they're doing a great thing up there. They are promoting live music.
Yes.
You know, they got a venue for it, both places. They make sure they can do outside, inside. They have all different kinds. When I saw the Bomb was playing there, I'm like, yes, that's great. You know, because, you know, I mean, they're a heavier band, you know.
They go from country to the Bomb to whatever.
Good for them, yeah. I mean, nothing fancy. Another one that's supportive of it, you know. So, I mean, obviously, in the summertime, Varick Street, Lukens, and Celtic Harp, you know, I mean, Tommy, very good friend of mine.
had a lot to do with getting Varick Street going. In my opinion.
They still got a lot of work because without that brewery, I don't know why, but without that brewery, it's just not the same, you know. I mean, it was just, I played Saranac parking lot
Yep.
with Gridley Page. I mean, that's how long Gridley's been doing it.
Yeah.
But when it was just on the bare concrete with a tent,
Mhm.
they didn't even have a stage, and
Yeah.
that's how long it's been building. And then they finally built a stage, and then it was again, certain acts would play it or whatever. They never had nationals, but it just built into this thing where people would just love to go at 6 o'clock, go down, have some cocktails at Saranac, and see all your friends and family, and watch a great band, on the big stage, because people don't get the bands around here. You're usually moving empty beer cans and stuff just to make room for your drum kit, and let alone have a huge stage, So it was a great opportunity for a lot of people to see bands, and then they would filter into the street. Now you got Celtic Heart, boom, right there. Then you got Nail Creek with a band. You got Lukens, and Shots had bands back in the day. Electric Company, Z's place as well. And then O'Donnell's had a DJ. Lukens had a band. They had Holly Rock back in the day that became Blue. They haven't, and then we had Sickenberger, of course, which with Big Papa had a band. Man, that loadout sucked. I'll tell you that, man. Whew, it was a great show, but man, I took out a lot of kneecaps in my drum cases because you're going through thousands of people. Because by then, there's thousands of people down there.
You talk about Mike Delio, right? Big Papa, or you talk
No,
about okay.
Gary Pierce.
Okay, all right.
Gary Pierce. He used to run the DJing.
Mike
show
Delio goes by Big Papa, so I got confused.
Gotcha. Yeah, Gary Pierce worked at Kiss forever, and he was a DJ, but he always did the Sickenberger show down there, and then of course they had Holly Rock and Blue. I'm sure he probably DJ'd, I imagine, a couple times there too, but he would always do they'd have a band on first, and then after the band, like maybe at 11:30, then like midnight to 1:30 would be Big Papa doing all the DJing.
Okay.
So you would have this huge crowd that already just got rocked at Saranac, and they're all filtering into this club, and it was just people as far as the eyes could see. Of course, when I played there with Tim, he took full advantage of it. He was rarely on the stage. He was always on the bars. I could see him just for way out on, because they had a bar that went all the way down the club, and he would be on the bar. And even back then when we had the cell phones, I would take pictures of it. It was just great memories.
I don't know if you know this about Tim. He's an attention whore too.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, at least he's passionate, and so
he's very passionate.
So he really puts 110% into the show. But
yeah,
that's what you got to do.
I mean, I know how old he is, but to be at his level, at his age, come on.
He's a year younger than me. I know that, and he made sure he reminded me of it.
You gonna drum for him again?
See, the thing is, I would love to come up and play a song or two. It'd be great because I haven't played with him in years. But freaking Sean's left-handed, that freak. It's just really that different, to play drums on a left-handed drum kit. Yeah. And for me, I probably could get by, but I want to be great. I'm not gonna go on and be a shitty drummer for freaking Tim. Yeah, I want to do a good job.
Yeah.
Anytime I go on that stage, I want to do a good job. I have played with pretty much all the bands around here, at least at one time or two. Like I said, even with Last Left, it was great to have the opportunity to play 3 fill-in shows with them. But they were big jobs, Cheryl, Fireworks, a lot of good jobs, but but it all comes from people knowing that they can have Pat come up and and he's going to be all right. He's going to we're going to play a song that he knows, and we're going to do a good job.
See, I'm learning a lot from you because this is clearly way before the Chillin' days. I started this in 2019.
Hey, but
so I'm learning a lot from you.
But in 2023, I'm on the Chillin' show,
yes.
and and I'm eventually going to be back out there again playing. And again, it's going to be just
and I'll bring full
part-time.
band on next time you're on.
Oh, that would be great.
Because
I'm sure Rich would like to see you.
Yeah. He did like 11 minutes on my first season.
Really?
Yeah. When I started out, I had questions wrote down in the notebook, and I couldn't read my handwriting. I was like, we're gonna skip that, and I wasn't interacting with you guys. I was just, where were you born and raised? It was horrible. Tim was on the first season, and I don't like to watch that back. That was just, but that was part of me learning.
Sure.
There's no guidebook how to do this, so I'm just learning, and I try to get better year by year.
Well, let me tell you something. My very, very first live performance, I must have been maybe 16 or 17.
Yeah.
I was with that band Rabbit Squirrel, and we there was a gong show at Hannah Park, and it was just people as far as the eyes can see. 'Cause back in the day at Hannah Park, they used to have. That's where I saw all the bands that were big back then. I was a little kid, you know, but it was free, and and it wasn't in a bar, so kids could go, you know. So I would go and I would see all these great bands back then. But anyway, so Rabbit Squirrel was doing this gong show, and we had this little meeting, and they were like, listen, we're probably going to get gonged, but don't stop playing. You know, so we played our song called Free Food. And
So you had the game plan.
yes, and ironically, the Free Food song went in with the pizza eating contest that was on prior. So they had all this pizza that was still on the stage. So our singer is going around, he's grabbing the pizza, and he's singing the song Free Food, and he's giving out pizza to the people in the audience, and the guy is chasing him around the stage with a gong because we were not stopping. He says, "Do you get this? We're gone." And I was getting so nervous because, first of all, this is my first live performance, and we're playing in front of all these people.
Yeah.
And they want us to stop, you know, and we're not, you know. So at the end of the song, we ended the song, and he stage dove in the crowd, which back then nobody knew who that was. They didn't. What the hell? The singer just dove into the audience. But as soon as we were done, boom! I turned around and I power puked. I just threw up all over the back. I mean, that's where the nerves were.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about nerves. I mean, nerves. I mean, I just threw up. Never happened again.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, once you do it a few times, I mean, there have been a couple venues like Fireworks Over Central New York where I remember I had to start the show, you know, so it was like a drum intro or whatever. And I remember because in Vernon Downs, I mean, when you play those big events, they have the delay towers.
Yes.
So when you're playing by yourself, I didn't have any monitors back then, you know. I had a good monitor, but you hear, when there's nobody else playing, you hear your drums repeated further down. And it's confusing. You know what I mean? So I'm playing my part, whatever it was, for the beginning of the song, and I'm like, and I hear it delayed, and I'm like, oh no. I'm starting to get confused, and I'm like, oh God, please just get me through this part till the band comes in. Because once the band comes in, then I'll know where I am.
Yes.
And it was just obviously again practice. You know, a lot of going over it. You can sometimes block out everything else and just muscle memory.
Yeah.
And just play through it. But you know, even then, it was a close one where I thought it was like, the butterflies are going. I'm like, oh no, and I haven't felt that in a long time. You know, but
you might feel it again.
Well,
you know how to control it though.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna, you know, get an opportunity to play in front of a big show like that. You know, I mean, of course I welcome it, but I mean, Fran, he asks me all the time to do jobs, but you know, because of my photography, I mean, I have a lot of weddings. It's just sometimes difficult to join a band that's going to be away for a while, you know, and I just got so many obligations here locally.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. You know, it would be great, but just for me to just get back on the stage and play music that I really like and play with guys that I really enjoy playing with. And,
now, are you guys going to be in a position to take it like out of state, or would you?
I think that's what we don't want to do, or at least what I don't want to do.
Keep it local, man.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
I want, like I said, I want to play open for a few bands. I already got.
I know D-Roz just got married not long ago. She probably ain't gonna want him to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much harder rock. Like we got the Bomb, Scars and Stripes, Seattle Suns. Yeah. Career Mode's more of a punk goth kind of, but they're still edgy. You know, so that's really what I want to be in that clique. So whoever's going on all the shows and they're getting big crowds, you know, I mean, that's what I want to be. I mean, I just got to get, once we get established and get the, it ain't going to be too long, you know, now that Richie's, you know, got his freaking nuts back, you know, but, you know, I mean, it won't be too long. You know, all we need is about an hour, you know, and then we can at least get the band out there, let people know what we're doing, let them know the guys, because everyone knows me, but, you know, I want them to get to know the band, and then go from there, you know, so, you know, get some video, get some, you know, some pictures and stuff, you know, and then we'll have some stuff that means we get our own job, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe
I know a photographer. I'll
Yeah,
hook
that's
you
one
up.
thing. That's one thing going back as far as Rattle Basket is that, you know, I'm in the band, but I always had to bring along somebody with my equipment and tell them, like, pretty much what to do, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even as far as, like, simple props, you know, having Barney's wife come out and, all right, Michelle, you know, this is how I want the picture, you know, and she would take the picture, I would look at the picture, and I'm like, okay, why don't you move here, you know, and kind of organize it from being in the band, which, you know, obviously when I did Scotty D's, you know, I mean, it was totally different, you know, I mean, I love that opportunity. I did Last Left's pictures, When We Were Young, which is Spencer's offshoot of that band. I did their photos. I did some for Showtime, but they changed band members so many times they're gonna need a new one. You know, Gridley. When I was in the band, we did them. I think I did them maybe one more time afterwards. Um, you know, who else did I did? The Bomb. I did. Again, when you start changing band members, you got to get new pictures.
I could have you do mine, but I'd only be posing with this.
Hey man, I tell you, I got my camera in the car. We should get a nice photo of you with that as a background.
Yes.
You know, a nice professional mugshot. You know, maybe
How
something you can
much?
use for. FREE, man, FREE. That's what Tim would say. But yeah, I always have a camera with me. You know, and any opportunity that I can to maybe help somebody out. You know, with photography, I always do.
If you want to do that after we wrap,
definitely,
that would be most
for
appreciated.
sure. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
But
You know I'm bald, right?
Hey, let
We'll
me
leave
see.
the hat on.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. You know, I'm in denial. You know, but I'm just.
When
yeah.
Justin was out here, I just left the hat off because Justin's bald, I'm bald. We were bald together.
Well, all these guys, they weren't when I knew them. That's the thing.
Yes.
You know, everyone's little by little have lost their hair over years.
Tim
you know?
didn't. Bastard.
Yeah, he's got good head of hair. It's all about the genes, you know. It's all about the genes.
He's got good genes.
Yeah.
He's got many T-shirts.
Yeah.
How many shirt changes did he do back in the day? At least 5, right?
Yeah, I mean that's something that like started like later in his career, you know. But
We can afford the shirts now.
Well, the thing is, it's a good thing, you know, because you know sometimes you gotta think of yourself as not just playing at a local bar. Sometimes you gotta try to kick up the show a notch. So if he's changing outfits, yeah, we make fun of it, but it's kind of cool because that's what the big artists do.
Yeah.
You know, they have costume changes all the time. Well, you know, I mean, if it's a solo act or something, but you know, I mean, so. He's just trying to make it as you know, professional and as a show as possible, you know, and that's why he's playing these places. You know, you're not seeing him play a lot of these smaller places. I mean, he's gonna be playing down at Celtic Harp, I think, coming up this summer. You know, one of the bands I'll be down there for sure to see.
Yep.
But you know, he doesn't play other than casinos and you know, choice gigs. I mean, he does the acoustic act in the smaller clubs. You know.
Phil O'Grone, I catch him there. Him and Matt. I get Matt.
And I
to
love
talk.
Matt. Matt's a great guy
July
too.
30th, Tim is coming. It was supposed to be June 19th, but you know, rain and everything. You know, I want to keep it out here. I mean, I've done a couple in there, and that's cool, but it's just not the same.
This is your thing. That's why we had to reschedule.
Outdoor. I told Scotty, I said, this guy won't do inside. I said, he told me I'm outside. And I agree with that, because I am an outside.
That's your thing. If you got a thing, man, you can always reschedule. I mean, wintertime might be a whole different animal.
Wintertime's in there. And that's when I'm going to get Mac Sheldon and all them guys. But Matt Granger. Matt Granger was already here, though, but he would come again.
I got to tell you, if it's not a blustery blizzard day, you can have a little fire.
Yeah.
We could all have coats and gloves on and hats.
I need you to stay in my Rolodex. I'm going to need your brain.
Yeah, because I think that would be very entertaining. You know, think about it, because you know you'd have all your shows, and then you can see how it goes to fall. You got the colors of the trees.
Yes.
Then it goes into winter. We got parkas on. There's a little fire going. You know, we're drinking
We're
coffee,
literally
hot
chilling
chocolate.
with Rick then.
Yeah, you can see the steam coming off your hot cocoa.
I like the way you operate, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, you gotta always.
You're
be
going to be the
creative.
chilling coordinator.
Hey,
you are officially
any way
hired.
I can help you. You know,
I pay in
you know.
Poland Spring.
Hey,
You got that cool koozie though.
you just gotta make room in there for the vodka.
Drink it down some. Water and vodka. Oh.
Yeah, that's it. That's my drink. You
Yeah.
know, when you get older in life, you know, you have to watch your weight. You know, and
Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, so.
Bought and paid for, my friend. Bought and
I know, man. I tell you, I miss buffet.
Yeah.
You know, in a lot of these weddings I go to, it's really boring because I'm eating just the protein and, you know, no more riggies. No, you know, it just sucks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but that's what you got to do, man. You
I
know,
got
I mean, when I was younger, I could have buffet 5 days a week.
I'm not far from you, man. We're like 7 years apart.
Yeah, it was about 40 when it started, you know, and I was
That's
like,
when
holy
this came.
crap,
I'm
where'd
like,
that come
whoa.
from? Holy crap. You know, I'd watch videos of me playing. I'm like, holy crap, what the hell's that?
You used to be able to count my ribs. I was that skinny, and that was unhealthy, but it
I
was
know.
hereditary. My dad was like that. And now me and my dad are about the same weight. I'm 215. He's right around 200. He retired and got fat.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, it's tough, you know, I mean, and it's got to be up to you what you want to do, you
Yeah.
know, and
The treadmill's waiting. I keep telling my fiance, I said, I'm going back on that fucking treadmill. I'm going to need to.
well, and not playing drums for 5 years. I mean, I used to play, whether it be a practice at least once a week, and then playing at least once or not twice a week. You know, I mean, that's a workout for me. I mean,
It
and,
is.
and we're talking no shirt, you know, in that back in the day, you know,
Yeah.
when, you know, and so of course I'm got tattoos everywhere. I mean, things that I just probably wouldn't do to this day, you know, but back then, you know, I mean, you just think differently.
You got
know?
the right tattoo. You got a star and you're a star. I get it, brother.
Hey, well, you know, I appreciate the kind words, you know, but when I tell you that I just worked really hard my whole entire
That's what
life,
Tim tells me too.
you know, and that's how I get those opportunities. Again, you know, whether or not I approached him in numerous times before I got the opportunity, you know, I finally got the opportunity, and when I got the opportunity, I got the job. You know.
I'll announce Justin Smithson as a legend. He goes, I'm a hardworking musician. He's very humble, man. The whole band is humble.
Oh yeah, me and like I said, they opened for Rattlebasket at McGill's, and they were so young that they had to
Yes.
bring their parents.
Yes.
You know, but you know I remember, you know, because I like to say that I've jammed with a lot of these bands, you know, even if it's just coming up on stage. And I remember with Showtime,
30 years next year.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a long time. Yeah, so there you go, 30 years. So
Yeah.
even before 30 years was, you know, I was still doing it before that, you know. But the what you call it? I remember me and Jeffrey, we were at the Devereaux. No, I'm sorry, not the Devereaux. Valley Brook, another one of those small places. Again, but they had bands, and a band like Showtime played there, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, because when everyone's building their crowd, you have to play these smaller venues.
Yep.
You know, and hey, Kenny, love Valley Brook. You know, I love you. But Kenny would give bands opportunities to play his place, you know, and it was small. But it was great. But me and Jeff played a couple songs with Showtime that night, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, you know.
They're
so
a party band, man. They make it fun.
yeah, you know. I mean, and they've come a long way, you know. I mean, very another very pro band. Well, they do it for a living now, you know.
Yes.
So if you could get it to that point, I mean, all my life I've always had a full-time job. I never ever could do just music for a living, even if I was playing a lot.
Yeah.
Like with Gridley, you would think that that could be the only thing I do, but I mean, Tim had a job, I had a job, we all had jobs,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I mean, there was times when I would, if I could do it, I would do a wedding up until like afternoon, and then while there was a break before the reception, I would go to the club, set my drums up, go back home, take a shower, go back to the reception, work the reception, and then change my clothes into whatever gig clothes I was wearing that night, and then show up at the gig and then play.
Yeah.
I would never do that again. This is just too much. But
Yes.
I would do that. The show must go on.
Yes. Yep.
You know, because a lot of times, you know, Tim,
Music
you
scene
know,
never stops.
Well, you know, there were great gigs. You know, I didn't want to be the guy that jeopardized the job. You know, because I have another job.
Yeah.
But weddings, you can't reschedule. You know, I mean, I had to do it. You know?
Amen to that, brother. We got to get married, and it's got to be today.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I got one this Saturday, you know, and I'm looking at the weather like it's my wedding, you know. I mean, I want nice weather,
yeah.
you know, for them, for
Tomorrow we
pictures.
weren't going to be able to do this, so I had to reschedule.
Yeah, you did great. Tomorrow's going to be a washout. You're right. It's going to be like monsoons.
Yeah, I was like, I can't keep putting
This
guy
table
on the
might be
back burner.
floating.
Oh, it might be. I said, I can't keep putting this legend on the back burner. You didn't tell me to go fuck
you're
myself.
Too kind. You're too kind. And I'm glad, and it's a beautiful night today. I haven't been out in a night in a long time. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Welcome back, man.
Yeah.
We're the meth capital of the world.
Oh well, I'm sorry about that, but you know.
I love my hometown. I really do.
I used to always go to. Do you still have the Mexican place, the El Canelo, out there?
I believe
By the
it's
movies?
gone.
They used to have a buffet there.
Yes.
Oh, it was so good. I would come here on a Sunday for it. Me and I
You
bring my
want to go
son.
get a sub or something after this? We will. I'll hang out with you even more.
Hey, well, sub. Oh man, now you're killing me. I miss subs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well, again, you want to make the show go on.
Yes.
You're looking at your schedule, the weather. Let's get them in today. You move things
Part
around.
of my
Here
job
we
is
are.
being a meteorologist, and doing it outside. I have to be.
Yeah.
If I was in there full time, I'd be like, I don't give a shit if it's snowing and blowing. Get here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys come to me, which anybody who sits in that chair is a deep honor for me, because I'm humbled to do this. I love to do this. Even though I announced a few weeks ago I was going to retire and I was done.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
But I'm just going to not book 64 episodes and just keep it like 15 to 20.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be an opportunity for something
I got to
different.
slow down. I'm putting this before everything else, and that's not cool. I just got to slow down.
Yeah.
So
well,
that's
and
what
you're
I'm
going.
doing.
You're out at the clubs. You're
Yeah.
promoting the clubs.
Yeah.
And you're doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Yep.
hey, you got up to date. You've had a lot of really well-known musicians. Really great
And they're
people.
all friends of mine, man.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
what it
cool.
becomes after
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I keep in touch with all you guys. I'll keep in touch with your ass. Don't you worry
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Well, we're friends. We're friends on Facebook. I don't know if I sent you the link for my photography page, but
Do it.
I'll definitely send you that just so you know that I mean, it's the difference. There's the rocker guy, and then here's the guy that's take a picture of your baby. I mean, it's
Talk about diverse.
yeah. I mean, but it's just passion again, just passion. Just wanting. I remember when I was going to school for photography. My son was a baby who just had been born. And when you have a child, do you have any kids?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, when you have a kid, it just consumes your life, and that's all you with, for that first part of your life, and or their life, excuse me. And so I took a lot of pictures, of him.
If I had a kid, there would be no more chilling. That would be the kid would be full
Yeah,
time.
well, Jeff Moyer, a good example. He's raising a football team.
Yeah.
So then I'd go to school and they'd be looking at the pictures, and I'm sure they were probably decent pictures, but when you're going to school, they want variety and creativity, and they'd be like, oh, another picture of the baby. Another picture of the baby. So it was tough, but again, I learned a lot from those days about taking pictures of my own kid, because I got really up close and personal because it's my kid.
Yeah.
But that's what people want of their kids.
Yes.
They want pictures that they see when they're with their kids.
Yeah.
Same with pets. I mean, so many people take pictures of their pets and they're looking down at them and the dog's looking up at them, and it's like, yeah, all right, that's a nice picture of your dog, but you want to treat those dogs like they're human, so you get right down to their level.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they're like this. I mean, it could be a Chihuahua and he looks like this in the picture.
Yes.
But it really, that's what they want on their wall. That's their family.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Pat, I can't thank you enough, man.
Hey,
This
I'm
was cool.
so glad you reached out to me, and I'm glad we made it happen today.
Thank you, Scott DeCan, for this.
Scotty D.
Scotty helps me out a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk a lot about, any way we can help each other, I mean, whether it's photography or, his business, because he's got the DJing business as well.
Yep.
He's a hustler. He's a busy man, I mean.
He's the king of promoters.
Yeah. Oh,
Promotion.
yeah. He's doing a great job, like with the signs he puts
He
outside.
has my
and-
sign. Well, he just came and got it yesterday. But he had it for like a month out in my front yard.
It really
And the
does
owner of
make a
Frogs down here
difference.
rode by and seen it. I go, that's my house, Mary, because Mary Frog sponsors me. I was like, that's my house. Mary, come chill.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, even if they don't go to the show that night, they are going to remember that band, or they're going to remember that name, and if they see it again, hey, I keep seeing that band. I'm going to go check them out.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. He knows it. And just, a lot of people, I think, well, some of them other bands that are really busy, they probably don't have to do it as much because they're already busy. But if you're an up-and-coming band, like, you're going to see, like, once this band that I'm putting together, starts to get gigs, I'm going to be doing the promoting, man. You're going to know. We're going to have band photos. There's going to be different ones every week. It's going to be different themes. I'm going to make it like, I need to check this band out.
I can't wait for you to get going, man.
Yeah.
Get it going and get back here next year, full band.
Yes. Well, you'll definitely be, in touch, when it does.
Good.
When I get my first job, I mean, I know August is looking good for, for a couple opening slots. I just gotta, make sure that Rich can stand. I don't care. He could sit on stage. I mean, but he'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's just been a long month not playing.
I get you.
You know, because that happened. I knew it was serious because we have a group chat where all the band members talk,
Yep.
and all of a sudden Rich comes on there and I go, "Hi, this is so and so. This is Rich's wife. He just had emergency hernia surgery. He's in the hospital." And I'm like, "Oh." So we knew it was serious then, you know. I mean, but so then from then on, you know, it was just a matter of just him healing and getting better, and that's it. We're just ready to get back in that room tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow's the day, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Bleeding's gonna happen.
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. Well, St. Elizabeth's down the street.
Pat, thank you, brother.
Great. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. You're officially now no longer a chillin' virgin. I
Hey.
popped the cherry and you didn't even know it.
Oh.
You gotta make it dirty here and there.
Hey.
I had a full metal band out here yesterday. There was a lot of cussing going on, so
Yeah, I try to be good, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, because you know.
I let a couple slip in. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. I'm so used to podcasts and stuff where they swear all the time,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I mean, but you know, especially like Disruption. I mean,
Yeah.
you can say whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
What's up,
They
Z?
keep track of Genesee Joe how many times he says the F word.
Really?
And
And
I
he's
start
worked
to
for
now.
WOUR. I mean, he knows he can't. Well, then again, he probably taped a lot of his shows.
And I told Joe you can't swear, and I'm the one out here swearing, so he joined along with me. But anyway, thank you
Hey,
again,
you're
brother.
very welcome, my
Yes.
man.
Let's take some pictures.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
chilling with the Rick.
Hell yeah. Look for these.